Hello, Algebra 3. This is the video key for the assignment with the lesson 6.4, which is evaluating logarithms. I went ahead and wrote the steps that were in the lesson video, so it would help us work through the examples here. Excuse me. So our first number here is, well, number 1, log 16 of 2. Okay, so this is number 1 here. All right, so first thing we do is we set our log equal to x. Then we're going to put the equation in exponential form. Okay, so remember, this is our base, this is our exponents. We're going to have 16 to the x equals 2. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to rewrite each side so they have a common base. I can rewrite this as 2 to the 4, and we're going to raise that to the x equals 2. Now remember, when we're raising a power to a power, we multiply our exponents. So we're going to end up with 2 to the 4x equals 2, and that's 2 to the 1. And we can just rewrite it that way. So we have a like base. We can just set our exponents equal to each other. 4x equals 1, or our answer for number 1 would be 1/4. For number 2, we are giving log base 6 of 1 over 36. So we start by step 1, setting that equal to x. Then we're going to rewrite that in exponential form. So we'll end up with 6x equals 1 over 36. And we need to put this so we have like bases. So if you look at this, we could rewrite that 36 as 6 over 2. We're almost there. So if we need to get this out of the denominator, so if we move that up to the numerator, we have to change our exponent from positive to negative. So now we have like bases of 6. We set the exponents equal to each other, and x equals -2 is our answer. In this problem, we need to evaluate log base 7 of 1 over 343. Step 1, we set that equal to x. Step 2, we're going to rewrite this into exponential form. So we'll have 7 to the x power equals 1 over 343. Now we need to rewrite this so each side has a common base. We could rewrite 343 as 7 to the 3rd power. We're not quite there yet. We need to rewrite this fraction over here. We need to pull that 7 to the 3rd from the denominator up to the numerator. And when we do, we change that exponent from a positive to a negative. Now we have 7 to the x power equals 7 to the -3 power. So if we have like bases, we can set our exponents equal to each other. And we get x equals -3 for the answer to number 3. In number 4, we are given log base 3 of 243. We're asked to evaluate that. So we're going to set this equal to x, and we're going to rewrite that equation in exponential form. So we'll have 3 raised to the x equals 243. And we need to rewrite that so we have a common base. Well, 243 is 3 to the 5th power. So now we have like bases. We can set our exponents equal to each other, or x equals 5. This question, we are asked to evaluate log base 2 of 8. We're going to set that equal to x, and then rewrite that equation in exponential form. So 2 to the x equals 8. We need to rewrite so each side has a like base. We keep 2 to the x, and we can rewrite 8 as 2 to the 3rd power. Now, since we have like bases, we can set our exponents equal to each other, or x equals 3. Question number 6, we have log base 3 of 1/9. We need to evaluate that. So we will set it equal to x. We rewrite that equation in exponential form. So 3 to the x equals 1 to the 9th. Step 3 asks us to rewrite each side of the equation so they share a common base. So if we look at our denominator, we can rewrite that 9 as 3 squared. So we're just about there, but we need to bring this 3 squared up into the numerator spot. And when we do, we need to change that positive exponent to a negative exponent. Now that each side of the equation share a common base, we can just set our exponents equal to each other, or x equals -2. Number 7, we are asked to evaluate the log base 3 of 1. So let's set that expression equal to x. And then rewrite that equation into exponential form. So we'll get 3 raised to the x equals 1. Well, now this, we have to think back to those property of exponents we learned back in our Algebra 1 days. What is our exponent if we want it to equal 1? Anything raised to the 0 power equals 1. So in this case, our answer for x would be 0. This question, we need to evaluate log base 3 of 1 over 81. We're going to set that expression equal to x and then rewrite this equation in exponential form. So we'll get 3 to the x equals 1 over 81. Now we need to rewrite this. We're going to want a base 3. And we can rewrite 81 as 3 to the 4th. We're almost there, except we need to bring this base 3 up into the numerator spot. So we'll have 3 to the x equals 3 to the -4. When we flip that up to the numerator, we need to change that positive exponent to a negative. Now that they share a common base, we get x equals -4. In number 9, we need to evaluate log base 6 of 1 over 216. So let's set that expression equal to x and then rewrite this equation in exponential form. So we'll get 6 to the x power equals 1 over 216. For step 3, we need to rewrite each side so they share a common base. If the left side is 6 to the x, we can rewrite our right side as 1 over 6 to the 3rd power. And we're almost there, but we need to bring that 6 to the 3rd power up into the numerator spot. And when we do, we change that positive exponent to a negative, so we get 6 to the -3rds. Since we share a common base, we can now set the exponents equal to each other, and we end up with x equals -3. That brings us to our final question for this assignment. We have log base 4 of 1 over 64. We need to evaluate that, so let's set it equal to x. And then rewrite that equation in exponential form. So we'll have 4 to the x equals 1 over 64. We need to set up a common base, so let's keep the left side the same. We can set up the equation over here would be 1 over 64. That's 4 to the 3rd power. We're almost there. We just need to bring our base 4 up into the numerator spot. So we'll have 4 to the x equals 4 to the -3rd. We need to flip that positive exponent to negative when we change from the denominator to the numerator. And now that we share a common base, we can set our exponents equal to each other. And for number 10, we get the answer x equals -3. So hopefully working through all these problems here in the video key helped you if you were stuck on anything. If you still need some help, or you can't find your mistake on a certain problem, please email me and we'll work through that together.